So this tutorial is going to be for using smart filters in Photopea. And I'm going to go to File and open my image. I have a whole bunch of images in my Pictures folder. And I'm going to start with one that I know has a strong focal point. So I'll use this stop sign image. And in Photopea, you can convert images for using smart filters so that you can mask and brush in parts of the filter and brush out parts of the filter, just like you would with the adjustment layers that we've been using down here, because all of your adjustments also come with a mask. So the difference here is this time with your background layers, we need to convert for smart filters. Now in Photoshop, you'll have an option, and I'll just click over to show you that you'll be able to do something like in the filter menu, convert for smart filters. However, it's not there in Photopea if you're using Photopea. And I'm just gonna cancel that and go back a step. Photopea is different. You actually have to right click on the image and then you get the convert to a smart object. So I'm gonna click that. Photopea might lag for you a little bit, like it was just lagging for me. But what that did is that actually created a smart object, and there's a little indicator here. It's a little black and white box that indicates that now this layer is a smart object. So there's a lot of things you can do with smart objects. In this case, the one thing that it'll allow us to do is apply a filter, and we can choose where we want that filter to appear. It doesn't have to appear over the whole entire photograph like it would if we just grabbed it right from the filter menu here. So now I can go to my filter gallery. And once that loads, which in Photopea, it loads kind of slow, you can click on a number of filters here that you want to try out. I know you might need to zoom out a little bit in Photoshop. The filter gallery always zooms the picture in 100%. But I have the glowing edges filter, and I think I'm going to stick with that one just because I know it's going to provide enough contrast for you to see the difference between a filtered area and a non-filtered area. But you've got a lot of choices here that you can play around with, and you have some sliders that you can change the parameters for all the filters. And once you're happy with that, you can click OK. And the filter applied to the entire background. Now, the difference with smart filters is the smart filters come with a mask, just like our adjustment layers come with a mask. And you can use your brush tool to brush in parts of the filter and brush out parts of the filter. Same thing like we would do when we're brushing with the adjustment layers. So you just have to make sure that you actually click on the white mask so that little frame stays around the mask. And then you'll be able to grab your brush tool. Remember, the letter B is the shortcut for brush tool on your keyboard. It will put you right into the brush. And we also want to be using black to reveal the original picture underneath. And then if we use these arrows, we can toggle to white. White is going to mask up or apply the smart filter in that area again. So just to review, your black foreground color is going to reveal the original underneath, and your white is going to conceal the original picture back up. And I'm using this little set of arrows here to toggle back and forth between white and black when I need to. If you need to get to black and white, then these small boxes are the default black and white colors. You can just click on them and it will revert you automatically to black and white. And therefore you do not need to use this color picker at all. So I will not open that. So you probably want to pay attention to your brush tool when you're brushing. I like to brush with a very soft brush. So make sure that your hardness is cranked down to 0%. And probably to do my brushing, I will have to really increase this brush size, especially in the larger areas as I brush. So I'm going to make my brush big enough so that this background brushing in will go pretty quickly. Remember, be patient with this lagging in Photopea. It's just a necessary evil here. So I have that nice soft brush that's giving me the soft edge as I brush back. And I'm going to return my background to how it normally looks, and I'm going to leave the stop sign with that glowing edges filter. So my larger areas, I can use this really big brush. And as I get closer to the object itself, then I definitely want to shrink my brush size down. Now, the navigator right here is the shortcut to bring out the ability to zoom in and zoom out. So I always recommend to my students that when you're doing this kind of brushwork, that you are zooming in and out with the navigator, or just zooming in and out with the view menu. You have your zoom in, zoom out here, or key commands as well for zooming in and zooming out. And shrink your brush size down. So just as a reminder, your right and left bracket keys will either shrink your brush down or make your brush bigger as you need to. So as I get closer to the edge of this stop sign, I'm definitely shrinking my brush size down because I want my edges to be as neat as possible. So I'm shrinking that brush down as I get closer. And I'm really trying to be careful as I brush on my edges here. But I can definitely see that I need to go smaller just to get that filter out of the background even more. Okay, so I worked my way around the entire stop sign, and then I can tell when I glance over to the Smart Filter mask here that indeed the white area contains the mask, the black area has been returned to the original shot. So you really want to be, again, using that navigator. You can pop out NAV, zoom in as you're working on your edges, and then hopefully when you fit your image on screen, and I'll just hide this navigator, then it looks like it's masked pretty well. And I could probably go back and clean up my edges a little bit better. I see that they're a little bit fuzzy, and I would go back and spend some time working on that. But essentially, we've got the background layer with a smart filter applied, and the masking is happening right here. So in order for me to know that you've done your masking, I should see both a mix of black and white inside that mask. Okay, have fun with that.